Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Leap podcast. I'm Jennifer, and I'm really excited about today's discussion.
And I'm Daniel. I'm feeling particularly enthusiastic as well, Jennifer, because today's topic is something that profoundly impacts us all in this interconnected world. How are you feeling about diving into it?
I'm absolutely ready, Daniel. This is a topic that I find endlessly fascinating and incredibly important for anyone living in our modern, globalized society. I believe understanding cultural nuances isn't just a soft skill anymore. It's practically essential for effective communication and harmonious coexistence.
I couldn't agree more. We're living in an era where interactions across different cultures are not just common, but almost daily occurrences, whether it's through work, travel, or even online communities. Ignoring cultural differences can lead to misunderstandings, or even worse, missed opportunities. Today, we're delving into navigating cultural differences in a globalized world.
Exactly. From navigating business meetings with international partners to simply understanding a new neighbor, the way we approach cultural variations can make all the difference. But Daniel, from your perspective, what exactly are the core benefits of actively trying to understand these differences?
That's a fantastic starting point, Jennifer. Actively seeking to understand other cultures truly broadens our horizons. It's not just about avoiding faux pas, it's about cultivating a more empathetic and well-rounded worldview. When we make an effort, we foster stronger relationships, enhance collaboration, and simply become more informed global citizens. Throughout this episode, we'll explore strategies for navigating these differences, from understanding communication styles to adapting our own behavior.
That's right. And along the way, we'll talk about how developing this cultural intelligence can significantly boost your personal and professional growth. It's all about becoming more adaptable and appreciative of the rich tapestry of human experience.
Exactly. And as always, Jennifer, we'll be breaking down key vocabulary words and phrases as we go to help our listeners not just understand the concepts, but also expand their English skills related to this crucial topic. Wonderful. Let's begin by discussing the importance of cultural awareness.
So, for me, one of the first crucial steps is developing what's often called cultural awareness. It isn't just about knowing facts like what holidays a country celebrates, but genuinely understanding that people from different backgrounds perceive the world through a distinct cultural lens. When I travel, for instance, I always try to research local customs regarding greetings or personal space beforehand. It's the foundational step to show respect and avoid unintentional offense.
That sounds incredibly sensible, Jennifer. I completely agree. Cultural awareness goes beyond superficial knowledge. In my work, especially when collaborating with international teams, I find it paramount to recognize that what might be considered direct communication in my culture could be perceived as rude or overly aggressive in another. So I make a conscious effort to observe and learn. It really sets the tone for successful cross-cultural communication.
Exactly. Having that initial awareness and willingness to learn is such a good habit. After that, I also think about implicit cultural cues. It's not just the words people say, but their body language, their tone of voice, or even how they use silence in a conversation. These nonverbal signals are often deeply embedded in culture, and being attuned to them helps me understand the full message, not just the literal one. Observation and a genuine desire to learn are essential for me.
Attuning yourself to those subtle cues is absolutely essential, Jennifer. I often recall a project where an international colleague seemed to agree with everything in a meeting, but their lack of follow-through later suggested a deeper issue. It turned out that direct disagreement in their culture was considered disrespectful, so they would agree outwardly even when they had reservations. After that experience, I always make sure to ask follow-up questions in a gentle, non-confrontational way to ensure mutual understanding, so I know if their yes truly means yes and there are no underlying misinterpretations.
I do the same. I've learned that you can't always take things at face value, especially across cultures. I pay attention to context and subtle indicators. It's always nice to feel like you've truly understood someone and that they've understood you before making assumptions or moving forward.
Absolutely. Having that calm, observant, and respectful approach to understanding cultural nuances really makes a difference. And to help our listeners dive deeper into the vocabulary we've just used here, let's quickly define some terms here. Cultural awareness. This refers to the understanding of the differences between themselves and people from other countries or backgrounds, especially the values, beliefs, customs, and communication styles. Jennifer emphasizes this as a crucial step. Cultural lens. This is a metaphor suggesting that our individual culture shapes how we perceive and interpret the world. Jennifer mentioned people perceiving the world through this lens. Paramount. This means more important than anything else. Supreme. Jennifer considers recognizing cultural communication differences to be paramount. Implicit cultural cues. These are unspoken, often subtle signals or behaviors that are understood within a specific culture. Jennifer highlighted the importance of being attuned to these cues. Misinterpretations. These are wrong or mistaken understandings or explanations. Daniel mentioned these when discussing his experience with an international colleague.
Those are some incredibly useful terms for understanding cultural awareness. And now that we've covered the foundational importance of awareness, it's a great time to move on to adapting communication styles. Shall we, Daniel?
Sounds perfect, Jennifer.
Adapting my communication style is when I'm most flexible. I usually try to mirror the other person's pace and formality without losing my own authenticity. If I'm speaking with someone from a high context culture where much is understood implicitly, I make sure to pay more attention to the context and read between the lines rather than just focusing on the explicit words. It helps to build rapport and shows I'm making an effort.
That's a smart approach, Jennifer. My adaptability skills are usually put to the test during cross-cultural negotiations or conflict resolution. But like you, I make sure to not just adjust my words, but also my nonverbal cues. For example, in some cultures, direct eye contact can be a sign of respect, while in others, it might be perceived as aggressive. I find that being aware of these subtle differences and adjusting my body language really helps me foster trust and prevent misunderstandings.
Exactly. Being adaptable is so important, even if it's challenging. After someone finishes speaking, I take a moment to consider their preferred communication style before formulating my response. I don't like to push my own style too hard, as it can make the other person feel uncomfortable or even alienated.
I agree. Forcing your own style is usually a mistake for me. I prefer to adopt a more accommodating approach. My go-to is to ask open-ended questions that allow the other person to express themselves in a way that feels natural to them. Keeping an open mind and being patient helps me avoid making assumptions or misinterpreting the message, ultimately leading to a more productive exchange.
hmm That sounds like a great option. After understanding their style, I offer my own message, making sure to present it in a way that aligns with their cultural expectations. It feels good to engage in a productive exchange that respects both parties' backgrounds before the conversation winds down.
Yeah, I do the same. After a cross-cultural discussion, I focus on identifying what worked well and what could be improved for future interactions. I'm always trying to refine my approach without being overly self-critical. All right, Jennifer, could you take us through the vocabulary from our discussion on adapting communication styles?
Certainly, Daniel. Let's break down some of the key terms here. Mirror. This means to reflect or imitate. I try to mirror the other person's pace and formality. High context culture. This refers to cultures where much of the meaning of a message is communicated through implicit cues and shared understanding, rather than explicit words. I mentioned adapting to these. Read between the lines. This means to look for or understand the hidden or implicit meaning in something. I do this in high context communication. Foster trust. This means to encourage the development of confidence or reliance on someone or something. Daniel adjusts his behavior to achieve this. Alienated. This describes feeling isolated, estranged, or cut off from others. I avoid pushing my style too hard so others don't feel this way. Accommodating approach. This refers to a flexible and helpful way of dealing with situations or people. Daniel adopts this. Refine my approach. This means to improve or perfect one's method or strategy. Daniel always tries to do this.
Those are the key words for adapting communication styles. Now, let's shift to the benefits of cultural intelligence and navigating potential pitfalls.
Thanks, Daniel. That was really helpful. It's amazing how just a few key words can really make things clearer and illustrate the complexities of this topic.
Absolutely, Jennifer. It makes it easier to remember when we see how the vocabulary fits into everyday life. So, Jennifer, we've shared insights on the importance of cultural awareness, adapting communication styles, and the immense benefits of cultural intelligence, while also highlighting pitfalls to avoid.
Exactly, Daniel. Whether you're traveling, working internationally, or simply interacting with diverse communities in your own backyard, developing your cultural intelligence is key to building stronger, more respectful relationships and thriving in our globalized world.
And remember, it's not just about learning about other cultures. It's about a continuous journey of self-reflection, empathy, and a willingness to adapt and grow.
All right, well, that's all for today's episode. We hope this conversation gave you some helpful insights and tips for your own journey in navigating cultural differences. Thank you all for joining us. Keep embracing diversity, and we'll see you next time on the English Leap podcast.
Take care and keep expanding your cultural horizons. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.